Assalamu alaikum viewers. Islamic banking and finance industry is growing really fast in all parts of the world. Today we are witnessing quite a few Islamic fintech companies offering various Islamic banking solutions to their target customers in their own unique ways. Today we are excited to introduce to you a famous Islamic fintech company called Rizq. It's a UK-based company which is offering Islamic banking solutions to their customers not only in England but in other parts of the world as well. So let's talk to them to get a better understanding of what kind of solutions they are offering to their customers. So, Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with us. And it's really a pleasure to be able to meet with scholars like you. You're an expert in Islamic fintech industry. My first question is, would you let our viewers know a bit about yourself and Rizq, the UK's first alternative Islamic digital banking platform?
Sure, yeah, happy to give you a little bit of an introduction and I guess provide you with some context into why we got going and how we got going. So essentially why we're doing this is because there is a whole gap in the market in terms of services for British Muslims, and there's a big void to be filled really at the moment because there's a couple of incumbent institutions, but they're a little bit out of touch, we would argue, and kind of don't necessarily service the full plethora of services that are needed for the British Muslims. And at the same time, they're their way of thinking and they're not very digitally savvy, so they don't really resonate with the younger population as well. And the younger population actually makes up for a very, very significant chunk of the full population. About half of the British Muslims are under the age of 30. So we felt that there's a real kind of opportunity and the real need for an Islamic digital banking proposition. So we set up the company in February of 2020. So we've been going for about a year and a half. And really the mission is to be more inclusive and to offer ethical, Sharia compliant services for Muslims that obviously want to uphold their values, but also want to have a seamless and full service, should we say, experience with their digital banking partner.
What's the business model of Rizq and who are your target customers?
We look at a couple of areas. So you have our retail customers and you have business customers. They have very different needs, both customers, and the business models are tuned towards each's needs. In fact, there's two apps. One is a retail app, one is a business app because of the different service. So in terms of the retail app provides customers a place for their money to be utilized through normal banking services as you would expect, so transacting, paying, receiving cash into the accounts, but also allowing for them to operate into a marketplace. And we're working with partners to build a marketplace for our retail customers. And the marketplace effectively allows the retail customer to interact, get better pricing with the marketplace, because the marketplace will be within our control in the app itself. So it allows them to come on, allows them to have transaction services with us, where we are fee-based and charging on that basis. But at the same time, they have a range of customers they can sell to. And so therefore, it's a symbiotic relationship between the customer and the business. So the business app and the retail app, although it's separate, but they actually connect through to the marketplace itself. And so you find that both sets of customers benefit from each other.
Don't you think that it's a bit difficult for you guys to manage two apps at the same time?
So the wonderful thing is that our developers are putting together, and we have a customer experience discussion that we have regularly, which is separating the business requirements from the retail requirements. And the business requirements come very closely to what does a business person, a small enterprise require? And we have the customer journey for them very separated out. And we have our teams also separated out as well in terms of the development side. So the development team for business app, they understand how to develop the business app. The retail app has a completely different understanding and then how that should be developed as well. What you'll tend to find is that each app will iterate in different pace depending on the requirements of our customers. At the center of everything is the customer. What does the customer want? We return back to the customer with those services.
So recently I heard that you had received GIFA award. So could you please let us know a bit about this award and the reason you got it?
Yeah, GIFA has been going for over 10 years now, Global Islamic Finance Awards, and they have a number of categories each year. And so we were the best emerging sort of fintech institution in the Islamic space. We got nominated at the beginning of the summer. We won literally, I think, a week or two ago. Yeah, it's been a great experience because they did a lot of due diligence, should we say, and they really went into kind of our achievements, and they had a number of parameters which they scored, I suppose, and there were 4 finalists, and we were luckily the winner. So yeah, that was a really good experience.
I wanted to ask you from a customer standpoint, could you please give me any solid reasons to start trusting you as an Islamic digital banking solutions? And of course, a solutions provider. This question will be asked by your B2B customers as well as B2C customers, because you are basically targeting Muslim community in the UK. So one very important question from their perspective will be whether all your services are fully Sharia compliant.
It's a very good question. And we are very pleased to say that working alongside us, and at the center of our organization is Mufti Talha. And Mufti Talha is an extremely well-known and well-versed Islamic scholar in Sharia finance specifically. He's worked in the Middle East, worked in Islamic finance for many years, over 10 years, over a decade, definitely. Everything that we develop, everything that we do, the contracts that we have, we consult and approve and agree with Mufti Talha. He guides us, gives us the direction where it is acceptable, where we have gray areas, and then where it is utterly unacceptable to operate. And also, he's a great innovator himself. So he understands Islamic products. And in his view as well, most services can be Sharia compliant. There are very few that you have to lock out and say, we cannot do these things. Some of those things are industry based. For instance, we cannot deal with industries that deal with the haram types of activity. So we would not do that. And our risk framework would not allow to do that. Even conventional banks have industry classifications which they lock out certain types of unacceptable industries. They don't bank with them. So we're not that far out from an ethical perspective, but really at the heart of it, every single fee, every single stream of income, every service we operate has to be approved, has to be reviewed. And we agree collectively with Mufti Talha how we're going to develop it and deliver it.
Because you told me, Peter, that you guys just started in February 2020. You are fairly a new company. And there are a lot of offline and online competitors, of course, operating in the same area, in the same geographical location. Why should I start using your services instead of going to your online and offline competitors?
So in terms of the Sharia kind of space, right, and the Islamic banking, there really isn't anyone that provides a fully kind of digital service such as Rizq. So you do have some incumbents, but it's very different. You still have to go into the branch, fill out a load of questionnaires and forms, take a few weeks for you to open the account. They do various checks, and actually they do prefer high net worth individuals as well. So sometimes, the sort of mainstream British Muslim might get turned away even. So yeah, that's really one of the main differentiators is that we're digital. There's also, I suppose, the aspect of the fees, right? So we try to be probably not as competitive as maybe some of the other challenger banks because they really work almost at zero fee kind of structure and take the market that way. Charge slightly more because of the Sharia compliance aspect and some of the other things that we're kind of doing as a value add. But definitely still very competitive and much more competitive than some of the incumbents that are out there. The other thing is that we're also looking to be a lifestyle proposition. So it's not just about being a money management tool. We feel that your lifestyle, whether you like it or not, does revolve around money. That application can therefore be more than just that kind of money management tool. It can be more of a lifestyle application whereby Shahid obviously has mentioned the marketplace that we're looking to develop and roll out in the next couple of months. We already have a number of vendors that are looking to give discounts to our customers. The whole transaction can sort of take place almost within the Rizq ecosystem. So some of the other things that we're looking to do and focus on are things like remittances or charity donations. So it's really about creating that full service. None of the incumbents do that at the moment in terms of the Islamic market. And we feel that, that's a real kind of differentiator and a real USP that we can capitalize on, I suppose, and provide as a value add to everyone in the picture, the customer, the businesses that we work with.
So how do you reach out to your target audience?
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of areas that we look at. First of all, remember, smartphones now are in play everywhere around the world. And we find that everybody now is using a smartphone because of ease and convenience of use. Smartphones allow you to have voice over internet discussions with families back home. So if you have a smartphone, you have access to Rizq. So we hope, and we always want financial inclusion, all ages. We're not locking out any part of the society. And we believe that with that access, they should be there. Also, as our product and services mature, more and more users will find the benefit, and more users will find their way to us, because the benefit for them is better pricing, more efficient processing, the ability to open an account. You are probably aware in the UK and in parts of the Europe and US, opening bank accounts is not so straightforward. There's a lot of form filling, KYC, which is know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering. What we try to do is to make that same processes. We always do the same processes the regulator requires, but in a way that is easier for the customer to do it, so that we meet the requirements of our regulator always and help the customer get through this process painlessly.
I'm a first-time user of your app, whether it's B2B or B2C. I'm stuck somewhere while using your platform. Would I be able to get some kind of support from you guys?
So we have a number of ways in which you can inquire and speak with us, be it through the application itself, intercom sort of chat within the application. There's also social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook. We can reply to messages and DMs there. We have an email customer support as well. Anyone can email in at any time. So there's really a lot of channels, and they're all being checked and vetted regularly to make sure that we're replying and servicing the customer in the right way, and helping them out if there's anything that they don't understand or anything that's going wrong.
Are you guys planning to add any new Islamic banking services to your portfolio?
So yeah, so if you look at the different customer pools, so the B2B customer pool, they have a different set of requirements. And what we've done is product mapped all the way through, from now until probably into next year, halfway through to next year, all the services that we want to include. So for instance, like simple transactions, a simple fee structure, so that the business owner can understand what's going on, and the opportunity to use an efficient transactions gateway, the SWIFT and SEPA payment services, they will be available as well. Then in terms of the way that they review and look at their spend and look at the way that their business is operating, in the reports part and the statements part of the app, they can filter and they can look at exactly how they spent their money. And there's going to be further developments inside that, so that they can look at invoicing, how the invoicing has happened, if they've got their cash flows coming back. So as we go along, we have a product map that takes us all the way through into middle of next year. So we will keep adding services on. But the most important thing is for the business partners is to add services that they require and they need, not just push services to them. So we survey, we look at the requirements of what they have, we look at the competitiveness of the pricing, we bring the two things together to give them the service at a competitive price. On the retail side, the basic bank accounts and the most bank accounts that you find not going to be dissimilar to what you find in a normal bank, which is really what you'll find. However, as Peter said, the area that no other banks don't go into is the marketplace. How do you offer a value for a customer, a retail customer, to buy something through a gateway so that they can get a discount, so they can benefit from cheaper pricing? So that is the USP, unique selling point, that we have on retail customers specifically against the conventional players that we have in the market.
I'm a typical customer, and today I got a chance to review your app, and I've downloaded it, I've installed it on my smartphone, and now I want to start using it. What will be the procedure?
So whenever we bring a customer on, or customer comes to us, first of all, we say thank you. That's the first thing, is you trusted us and you're coming on. That's the fantastic thing, that you trusted us to come to us. Then there's the onboarding process. So the onboarding process is a very important process for any institution and for the customer themselves, because what it does, it gives the institution comfort that who's coming on, the person that they say they are, that we do the right requirements as per the regulations. And we are a regulated institution, so we have to do things correctly as well, of course. We operate through regulation. And that gives the comfort to the customers that in our ecosystem, everybody follows the right process and follows the correct process for regulation. So once you go through the onboarding process, and then it's all laid out very straightforward in the app as well, it tells you exactly point by point what you're required to do for the onboarding. And then after that, once the account is set up, then it's a matter of depositing cash into your accounts. One of the things that all customers want to know is that, is my money safe with these guys? Are they going to run away and they're going to take my money and they're going to collapse? We are under the regulation and we have to be safeguarding your cash. So anybody who puts money in, it always goes to a safeguarded account away from us into another bank, which holds that cash on behalf of you. So we cannot do anything naughty to the money. We cannot access the money, just pay our expenses. It is your cash. It is safeguarded and kept away. And after that, the services, anything that you would expect to see in a normal bank, paying, in receiving, it's all there.
Are you guys planning to expand your services to other regions, other countries as well in Europe?
Yeah, we are. So at the moment, we're obviously focusing on the UK as it's the first market that we have to really get right and, I guess, establish a presence and really focus our attention here. But we definitely have plans for expansion. So yeah, some of the countries that you mentioned right there are high up on our target list. The likes of Belgium, the Nordics, Netherlands, all of these have anywhere between sort of 5 and almost 15% in some cases Muslim population. So and obviously there's similarities in terms of the markets themselves. The kind of way of thinking, I suppose, the customer and what they would like to do and the services that they would use. So yeah, it's definitely something that we're looking into. The investors obviously want for us to kind of proceed with that as well, and feel that we will be in a position to at some point later next year to proceed with that, provided we get the dual authorization and time as well for our EMI needs.
And Shahid, would you like to give any message to your target users?
Yeah, so first thing, on behalf of Rizq and all of our board members and our team members, we say to our customers, thank you for joining us. That's the first thing we always say. We are very pleased when people trust us, they come on board and they see that the service firsthand, how it is. We are building a product, continuously building that product. We're not standing still. And at the center of everything that we do is the customer. So what does the customer require? We try to support the customer. The second thing that we want to do is to make sure inclusion is in place. There are many communities which are excluded, unfortunately, and it is not their fault. But what we're trying to do is to build an application, build a process so that they can come into the financial markets, that they can benefit by being part of the financial markets as well. And hopefully that will then give them incremental benefits going forward, which is better sales, better services from ourselves, safeguarding of their cash. I mean, we don't want people to think that financial services is only for the elite. It is for everyone. And for us as financial service providers, you, the customer, are who we serve. And we try to serve you with the utmost respect and with the safeguarding that you desire.
But as far as your branding is concerned, you mentioned Islamic digital banking service provider. So your product can be used by non-Muslims, as not yet Muslims, mainstream customers as well?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we don't discriminate and we don't,
of course,
turn anyone away. I think there's definitely ethical sort of customers and customers that are, interested in Islam and potentially are looking to convert or whatever else, right? So yeah, we definitely look to offer our banking services to anyone and everyone that wants them. I think it's important to keep that in mind and sort of make sure that we speak, the right kind of language and tone of voice, and have them celebrate the same holidays and offer the services that are needed. But at the same time, of course, if you pass our KYC, then you're welcome.
Just to add to Peter's point is, if you look at our organization as well, we are an inclusive employer. So our organization looks at meritocracy, who's best at doing something. And that is how we're employed. So we have Muslims and non-Muslims. And non-Muslims
employees as well. Okay.
The best person should be doing the job, because at the end of the day, we want to deliver their best service.
I don't know exactly what you mean by reaching out to your customers via internet. So what are specific channels you're using to reach out to your target customers?
We've tried various things such as influencers, paid sort of campaigns through Instagram and Facebook, SEO, ASO, Google Ads. We worked with Sky on a campaign that was targeting sort of, Muslim households and kind of a TV advert, essentially. We have ambassadors in universities and, essentially I think at the moment, the digital ones are working quite well. We do have an exciting event coming up as well this weekend. We'll be at the Halal Food Festival, which is one of the largest food festival, and we'll be presenting there and hopefully getting some useful information, surveys, as well as promoting our product, obviously.
The wonderful thing that's led on from these marketing campaigns is that app use from word of mouth seems to have expanded very strongly. So customers are now referring to their families and their families are referring to friends, and the friends are referring to families again. So finding an expansion through word of mouth is beginning to take over.
So that customers will become your marketers.
The champions of the brand. That's what you really want. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Thank you both for taking time out of your very busy schedules. It's been really very informative discussion. And I hope, inshallah, our viewers will be able to learn a lot from the discussion, the points, the insights which you have shared with us. Inshallah, I hope to be able to speak with you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.